We've gotten to the point in Canada where Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and the Liberal Party of Canada are no longer just losing to the Conservative Party and Pierre Poilievre anymore. They're really just not even competing at this point. It's really pathetic to witness. The 2025 election at this point is effectively just going to be a coronation for the Conservative Party, while Jagmeet Singh and Justin Trudeau fight to see whether or not the Liberal Party or the NDP is going to look more pathetic after the next election. And again, what's so staggering about how bad Justin Trudeau is doing is think about it. He has the biggest vote banks in the country, the GTA, Montreal, and Vancouver, usually typically on his side. It's very rare for the Liberal Party not to have a massive majority in the GTA, Montreal, and have a very strong showing in Vancouver, as well as capturing most of the Atlantic provinces without really even trying. And then they also have the media and different nonprofit groups that the government funds always pushing for the Liberal government. These people are playing on easy mode, and yet right now, as we speak, 338 Canada, the polling projection website, has the Liberals with a less than 1% chance of winning the most seats after the next election, and a less than 1% chance of even having a minority government. That is staggeringly pathetic. And the great thing about this is because of all of the institutional legs up that the Liberals have, the media, the GTA area, Montreal, all these sort of easy ways for the Liberals to gain votes, whether through advocates in the media or just based on the way the electoral system is slanted, that it is without a doubt that people are rejecting the Liberals and Prime Minister Justin Trudeau because of their policies being terrible. It wasn't about the corruption. If it was about the corruption, the Liberals would have been out in 2019 and 2021. Canadian society is extremely trusting, so it's almost like corruption just sort of goes off goes away like water off a duck's back. People assume, well, maybe they didn't mean it. Maybe let's not be too political like Americans are about issues with government. So that stuff didn't hurt Justin Trudeau. So it just has to be his policy failures. His voters stuck by for 8 years waiting for all the policies to actually become good. Justin Trudeau kept saying, well, we're just going to keep spending. We're just going to keep doing deficit spending. And eventually everything will work out. We'll be a booming economy. We'll have paid down the deficit. We'll per capita, everyone will be making more. And we've become a country where per capita people are making less. People can't afford homes. There's crime all over the streets, in large part because of liberal federal policy. We have a drug crisis in large part because of liberal federal policy. We have a terrorism problem in Canada where people are running around the streets supporting Hamas, and the Liberal government doesn't have the moral backbone to actually go after them in any strong sense. Even Justin Trudeau is almost trying to pin the crisis in Gaza on Israel rather than Hamas, who's holding their people hostage and not giving them resources. It's all because of this. The Liberal voters, as maybe as conservatives, as much as we would blame them for voting for Justin Trudeau in the first place, as someone who maybe doesn't pay too much attention to politics, it would have made sense at the time. Even if you're sitting in the political cheap seats in Canada, at this point, you can tell that the Liberals are failing. And that's why their voting has collapsed. I'll just show the regional breakdown right here. The thing that you're getting with the Liberal voters is that overall, the NDP is not exactly running away from Jagmeet Singh. Jagmeet Singh's terrible, but I think that what else are you going to go vote for? Justin Trudeau? He's awful. And what's happening with the Liberals, though, is the Liberals are losing their votes to the NDP, to the Greens, and to the Bloc because they know that Justin Trudeau is not going to win the next election. So you might as well vote Conservative or vote for some loser left-wing party that's not going to win anyways, because at least they represent my values, whatever non-values you happen to have. This is all because the Justin Trudeau has effectively been enabled by the media. Justin Trudeau has never had to correct himself. He's never had to, pull back on a policy, improve it, and show he has the ability to grow. You would just have Rosemary Barton come out on TV or anyone else from the CBC, Global News, or the Toronto Star and say, you know what? Actually, this policy failure just shows that Justin Trudeau is a great prime minister and you should vote for him next time because Aaron O'Toole's racist or something like that. Aaron O'Toole was the most pathetic conservative leader anyways. He could have run for the Liberal leadership and he would have fit right in. Yet the legacy media is so corrupt that they're willing to pretend that Aaron O'Toole is some hard right conservative. But that just shows you how sort of in the bag the legacy media is. And because they were so in the bag, Justin Trudeau, like I just said, he never had to actually demonstrate personal growth. And this is where I just want to go to his approval ratings right now. I like the Abacus approval ratings. I'll link their poll in the description of this video below. I think they just do a good job because before I get to the approval ratings now, what I don't like what other polling companies do is they list strongly approve, somewhat disapprove, strongly disapprove, and I don't know. The only three options, in my opinion, should be approve, disapprove, or I don't know. No one somewhat approves of someone or somewhat disapproves of someone. You either like them or you don't like them, especially in politics when people do not have nuanced takes. So I find that the somewhat approve, somewhat disapprove options just softens what people's real feelings are. If you only somewhat approve of someone, you really don't care that much. You should be in the I don't know category because it's unlikely you're going to show up for someone you just kind of are lukewarm with. That was what was proven out with Aaron O'Toole. It didn't matter if most conservatives would say they liked them. A lot of people didn't show up because somewhat approval is not really strong approval. Anyways, going to this poll, Justin Trudeau, and again, look at the numbers back in the day in 2021 when he was still objectively a terrible prime minister. He had moments where he was actually more popular than he was unpopular. These days, since about April of 2022, it's just been liftoff for the disapproval rating. He is currently sitting at a 55% disapproval rating and a 27% approval rating. And the 27% here is very, very key because what you notice is that Justin Trudeau is only ever able to get enough people, as many people to vote Liberal as people who approve of him. The Liberal Party's appeal is almost entirely based off what you think of Justin Trudeau. Even if I like Pierre Poilievre, but even if you don't really love Pierre Poilievre, you could still see yourself voting conservative. I like the policies. I'm maybe more of a social conservative, or maybe I'm a very liberal on social issues, red Tory. And even though Pierre Poilievre doesn't agree with either of those groups fully, you're willing to vote for him because of just other values issues that you appreciate. With the Liberal Party, what are you voting for? They're going to give you maybe a few more extra benefits. We've already seen all these benefits are effectively poison pills, driving up inflation while giving you almost no value back. Whereas with the Conservative Party, you can like Pierre Poilievre's personality. He might be a big asset to you, what's driving your vote. At the same time, you also don't have to care about him at all because Conservative Party members pass great policies at convention, and you're going to show up and support what's going to be in the Conservative Party platform. That's what the benefit for the Conservative Party. Even the NDP, as bad as Jagmeet Singh is, and let me put strong emphasis on bad. I want to make the acronym out of bad. He is boring, annoying, and dumb. He hits every single aspect of what I would consider a bad politician. But even with the NDP, as bad as Jagmeet Singh is, at least workers' unions will show up for him. At least crazy university student unions who support Hamas and whatnot, at least they'll show up for him because the NDP happens to have a lot of dumb stuff that they like in their platform. But you don't have to like Jagmeet Singh. You can like Jagmeet Singh and vote for him. But with Justin Trudeau, if you don't like him, you're not showing up. Even if somehow there's something in the Liberal platform that you liked, you're not showing up for Justin Trudeau because you no longer trust Justin Trudeau. And I just want to pull up the overall projections just to demonstrate how bad this is. Oh, mind the screenshot sound. Sorry, I'm being so unprofessional here. I'm terribly sorry. But when I jump up to here, these are just projections. These are not the literal polls. It's just based on averaging all the polls together. Having an 11% lead for the Conservatives on average, with a lot of pollsters that are very fickle, that sometimes even show the Liberals up by 4% because the sample size from the particular pollster, usually Ledger, is terrible. But that 11% demonstrates that it's not because Poilievre is winning people in downtown Toronto or Montreal. Those places are always Liberal. I think the Liberal Party's floor is always going to be around, 23%. At the lowest, it's 23%. Even Michael Ignatieff could scrape together 19%. We're running the worst campaign on the planet. But notice the Liberals' numbers. It's 28%. And then notice Justin Trudeau's approval rate. It's 27%. I think that the Liberal Party is always, for its vote count, is always going to be stuck hovering around Justin Trudeau's approval rating. Whereas when you look at Pierre Poilievre's approval rating, and I'll just quickly go check on that in the Abacus poll, you don't need to see it on. I assume you don't need to see it on screen to believe me. But right now, he's 36% disapproval, 35% approval. Obviously, it's harder to have a high approval as an opposition leader because the media demonizes you. Not everyone knows your name yet until election time and a lot of other things. But Pierre Poilievre is around 35% approval, and the current Conservative Party is at, I think it's actually 35. It does track well for this, but I've been checking in on it for months and months and months. When the Conservative Party was at 42%, approval, or in terms of scoring 42% of the polls. Pierre Poilievre could have been down to 32, and it didn't really matter. Even now, he's still outpacing, the party's outpacing him by 3 or 4 points. Next week, it could be greater or less. But the whole point is, it doesn't matter what people think of Pierre Poilievre. They will still vote conservative. Anyways, I just want to quickly end this off by just going back to this chart because, again, it's staggering. The Liberal minority government chance of occurring, the chance that Justin Trudeau will lead another government with the help of either Jagmeet Singh or Yves Francois Blanchet from the Bloc, is less than 1%. Now, I don't expect that the polls are going to stay like this forever. Usually, as soon as an election is called in 2025, you're going to see things tighten up because people get all silly and they're like, they forget what they know and they immediately jump into, well, who's going to win my vote? Like, no, the Liberals suck. Stop pretending like they can win your vote back. They haven't performed well. But with a 1% minority chance, or less than 1% minority chance, I hope that after this next election, the left realizes that people do not want ideology in their government in terms of forceful ideology. The Conservative Party, especially under Pierre Poilievre, is a more ideological Conservative Party. But the great thing, what people like, is that their vision is not ideological. It is that we are going to leave you alone and we're not going to impose our values on you. We are just going to get out of the economy. We're going to get politics out of schools and the government, and we're going to leave you alone because what individual Canadians can achieve is far more important than what the government can achieve. And that's the great thing about giving Justin Trudeau 8 years rather than just 4 years, is I think that hopefully enough Canadians learn the lesson that you don't actually want the government taking care of things for you. Yes, there's a certain demographic of voters who like the safety blanket of the government doing things for them, but at the end of the day, it's not good for you to have the government do things. And I just want to quickly just mention this too in the polling of the regions. Imagine that. It's the Conservatives have 41% in Ontario. The Liberals are at 30. That is an area where I think in 2021, the Liberals won that by 3 or 4 points. They have effectively, what has taken place is like a 16-point swing. That is horrifying. In Saskatchewan and Manitoba, the Liberals don't exist. Same thing in Alberta, the Liberals do not exist. And in BC, they're fighting over the NDP for who's going to capture more of the vote. Even in Atlantic Canada, the Conservatives are at 42%. That 42%. And Abacus tends to be a fairly stable pollster. Ecos is the bad one where they have super big swings where the Liberals are somehow up 7% in a region they haven't been up in like a decade and whatnot. But Abacus is usually stable. The Conservatives are up 11% in Atlantic Canada, a place where the Liberals swept every single seat in 2015. That demonstrates to you that there is something that Justin Trudeau has done, or Justin Trudeau assumed that wherever he went, his supporters would follow. And their left is quickly figuring out that's not how it works. And I sincerely doubt they're going to find a way of replacing him by 2025. He's brain drained the party. There's nobody with an IQ or a charisma score high enough to take to replace him, to make a D&D reference. Anyways, that should be it for me today. I have my legal fund link in the description of this video below. It'd be fantastic if you could donate to me. I'm dealing with a Chinese billionaire in court with a very stupid defamation case. I'm currently winning it, but obviously he's just driving me through the court. He's just driving me through the court system in order to punish me because he can't actually beat me. Other than that, also, I have the link to TNT emails in the description of this video, as well as my Twitter link. So X, I guess. I still call it Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter there. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to like this video, share this video, do all that other great, fantastic YouTube stuff. And I heard that we're actually on Rumble now. I was at the protest at Freeland's office in Toronto, and so apparently someone showed up. Fantastic lady. She was great to talk to. She had watched us on Rumble, so I think someone in the back end of TNT finally automated us on Rumble, which is great to see. And if someone's just stealing our videos and posting them to Rumble, well, I can't complain because I wasn't doing it in the first place. So other than that, hope everyone has a great day. See you guys next time.